Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning, the 26th. Warm and windy today with some elevated fire danger across the area. Some possible strong gusty storms with a little bit of hail tonight, maybe. We'll move through the area. And then by Saturday morning, we're back down to freezing or just a little bit below. That is your forecast this morning in a nutshell. Let's go through all of the details together. Let's start off this morning. First of all, do have a red flag warning out here in Kansas, just a little bit to the west of our area, but I think it really covers the area today. It colors the forecast pretty well for what we may have. Relative humidity drops down with gustier winds. A little bit more out here than for us, but for all of us today, burning is discouraged today, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday afternoon, we'll have similar conditions. May see a red flag advisory, may see one for our area tomorrow. Let's go ahead and put up the severe weather outlook for tonight. This has changed a little bit since last night. Now we're in the 1 out of 5, most of us in East Central Kansas, West Central Missouri. I don't think this has been a lot of a change in what we may see if you've been paying attention the last couple days. I am not the Storm Prediction Center, but I would guess that this is because we'll already have some ongoing strong surface winds, and these storms may become a little bit elevated, which gives us the possibility for some hail. So we already have winds. The storms might bring some more winds, so maybe some wind damage and maybe a little bit of hail. But overall, the setup really has not changed. But just be aware, we'll pay attention tonight, and I'll give you the time frame for what looks to happen this evening here in just a sec. Today's forecast brought to you by Renee Welliver-LaRosen of Homeland Realty. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, residential or commercial, give Renee a call. Check her out on all of the socials. Renee is here to make this process simple and easy for you. Renee LaRosen at Homeland Realty, 816-215-4746, bringing you today's forecast. We appreciate that very much. So here is the setup that I think illustrates the forecast the best. Okay, this is a wind chart. I don't put these up very often, at least not in this way, but I think it really shows. So this is wind. This is nothing else. Don't get alarmed by the colors, the red and the purple there, like we were looking at the radar. We're not. So we're looking at wind. So here is the setup this afternoon. These are winds that are actually out of the south-southwest. They're strong. They're warm. They're mostly dry, but yeah, so these are strong winds coming up out of the south. This is the cold front that looks to settle through, where it looks like nothing is going on right here. And then here's where the winds turn around out of the northwest. So I'm doing this to show you that as the front settles through, we pay attention to where storms will fire along the front. Are they out ahead of the front? We talk about that a lot in severe weather season because that has a setup for lots of dangerous things. But storms that form behind the front, the farther they get behind the front into that cooler air, the less we're worried about severe weather. So there's our front, which is just, I'm showing you on the wind map once again. This is the front settling through at about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. So let me go ahead and put up what might happen with storms. We've been talking about severe weather being well off to our northeast. Does continue to be the case. So keep in mind that front is starting to settle through. We'll go ahead and put that back up here. Here are the winds. There's the front, all right, south of Kansas City, so well south of I-70, south, it's about at Butler, but it's south of Warrensburg. So as we put the storms back in that we might see, look how, by and large, these storms are going to form up just along or behind the front. So if they're close to the front, if they're along the front, then we do expect gusty winds. We may see some strong hail or some large hail and some strong winds. There we go. So, but the farther they get behind the front, that's what we're hoping for, the weaker that they will be. So let me kind of back this up and put a little bit of a time frame. You can see we're on the very, very straggling end of what we may see for storms. So this is about 11 o'clock tonight. May see some storms popping up out here around El Dorado, Eureka, Emporia, moving towards Burlington. So let's go ahead through the evening. There's midnight. Here's maybe 1 a.m. So between midnight and 1 a.m., East Central Kansas, I mean, these aren't even showing up as thunderstorms on data. So keep that in mind. Not even showing up as thunderstorms. This is very likely that these will just be maybe some gusty winds and a few heavy downpours, but just good old thunderstorms. But they have the potential. The closer they get to the front, if the timing doesn't quite work out like this is why I'm showing you this in this much detail, in case you're wondering, in case all of this timing adjusts a little bit. We may see some stronger storms. So, but as of right now, this is about midnight, 1 a.m. Do see some showers and some gusty winds moving through. We'll back this up. Here's midnight around Pleasanton, Butler, headed over towards Clinton and Warsaw. So like I say, we're really on just kind of the back edge of these things. But as we go through the overnight, may see some small pop-up showers and thunderstorms. But by the time we get up here, this is about 4 or 5 a.m. May have scattered showers, may have some gusty winds in with these. and that should be about it as we get to about 5 a.m. This starts to move through. So with those earlier storms that knock through about midnight or so, like I say, cannot rule out it's already going to be windy because I showed you the front that moves through. Already going to be dealing with winds, so can't rule out more winds with the storms, and then possibly some hail in there too as well. So I think that's the reason that we went up into that 1 out of 5. In the meantime, this is what we're going to see before we get to that point. Check out today's temperatures. Been talking about today, Thursday, being the hottest day of the week. I think that will bear out 90, 91 in Kansas City. About 94 in spots around East Central Kansas. A little bit cooler down in the 80s, high 80s today for you guys down in the southern edge of the forecast area approaching Joplin. So expect that windy and hot for your day today. Here's just kind of an illustration of the winds. They're starting to pick up outside right now as we work on the 7 a.m. hour. They're going to get gustier. Here's kind of the same thing again, but we may see some 36 mile per hour wind gusts out in East Central Kansas. Over here, Butler, Clinton area, maybe some 30 mile per hour wind gusts by about noon today. You guys can see it. Again, here's that front moving in. So I think we're going to have some 30 mile per hour wind gusts, then the cold front, and then we pick back up. These are this is about the same, but these are going to be out of the northwest. So 30 mile per hour wind gusts again after midnight tonight as the cold front moves through. So it's just a change in wind direction. Obviously a warm one to a cold one, but it's going to be windy throughout the duration. I wanted to put up the Saturday morning temperatures just to emphasize, jumping around. This is Saturday morning now. I wanted to go ahead and put up 35 in Kansas City, 30 to 33 over here in west central Missouri, 32 to 34 throughout all of eastern Kansas here. Just for the sensitive vegetation folks, maybe you got a head start because weather's been good. Maybe stuff is starting to pop out of the ground that wouldn't quite normally just yet this time of year. So if you're concerned about that, I think areas will see just a few degrees, 1 or 2 degrees below freezing on Saturday morning. Wanted to go ahead and make you aware of that. So as always, here is your 10-day forecast. Like I said, I think we're all around 90 today. Boom, you're going to feel it for tomorrow. Here again, Saturday morning. Pay attention if that is of concern to you. But ridging expands over the area. We climb back out of this for next week. So starting off after a chilly weekend, look for almost as warm again Monday. Highs in the mid 80s. So that is what I know. Obviously, I'll be watching things tonight. I'll watch when those storms start to move through. Just make sure that they are what we think. If it's just thunderstorms, if there's no bulletins, no advisories, no watches, no warnings, not really expecting much of that, then I'll probably just post on the Facebook page. That's where you can kind of find updates. If I don't think there's anything to be big time worried about, just want to keep you posted. Facebook page for updates. If anything turns out to be stronger than we think, I will go live and tell you about it just like I am doing right now. So in the meantime, it is Thursday. It's a warm and windy Thursday. We'll pay attention tonight. I hope you have a great day.